The topic that I want to touch on today has to do with your self-image as an empath. And I will get into what I believe an empath is because I know that being an empath is super controversial nowadays. I know because I literally defend empaths to the death. And I get a lot of people, not being so kind to me about it. But I myself, and I don't even want to call myself an empath anymore, but I've outgrown being an empath because for so long I felt it was my duty, I don't even want to say burden, but it was my job to be there for everybody, be everything for everyone, and not be there for myself. Because when you're younger and you grow up in a chaotic environment, you tend to, not everybody wants to, but some people, empaths so to speak, tend to want to keep the peace, and they will do that through controlling the environment around them so that they can bring the energy level down, bring the chaos down, and bring a semblance of peace. And in order to do that, you tend to caretake other people's emotions, you tend to foresee what's going to make somebody tick and do something ahead of time to preempt that response so that you don't have you want to essentially mitigate whatever response is going to happen if you do the thing, if you do something that's going to lessen a trigger that somebody's going to have. So you jump to action right away just to make sure that emotions are managed. And I'm here to tell you that that's just not it. That's just not the way. Just letting people be people is the most important part of anybody's path. If we manage other people's emotions for them, essentially, we stunt their growth. And I get that we don't want to be around people that are screaming and have heavy energy and stomping their feet and it's like eggshells, but the best thing we can do for ourselves is learn to be in our own energy and not take any of that on. But I digress. I will get into what being an empath is in another video. This video is specifically about the self-image of an empath. So, I know me personally, and I'm sure I could speak for others. Obviously, leave a comment if any of this resonates for you, but when you're an empath, you tend to put everyone else's needs before your own. You tend to make sure that their needs are met, their emotions are met, their ins and outs and their triggers and this and that, because you made it your job to know so that you don't have to go through any emotional shrapnel. And because of that, you tend to not have a sense of self. You learned over time, you shaped your brain, you shaped your paradigm essentially around putting everybody else at the center of attention, but not yourself. And what that does is that trains your brain, literally rewires your brain to always bring the attention, your energy, which energy and attention is currency. You're always constantly externally focused. You don't really know yourself because you weren't taught that you had needs that were important. You didn't know that you had to get to know yourself. You don't even know what that looks like. And I learned through really painful lessons, extremely painful lessons, that it's not the way. It's not it. I'm 36 now, but I spent 35 years of my life putting everybody else as the center of attention in my world. I was not the main character of my life. I was the supporting role, the sidekick, because I didn't know that I had to actually grow a relationship to myself. And the ways that impacted me, it's innumerable. I was codependent because I didn't have any kind of inner authority or inner sense of, it was hard for me to be on my own without attaching onto somebody who has confidence and who is a main character. I was always the sidekick. So that's more reasons to not get to know myself. How else did it play out for me? So it played out in constantly making sure that everybody else was okay, that their emotions and their needs were met ahead of my own. So I would constantly abandon my own self just to make sure everyone else was okay. And I would get really resentful if nobody would check in on me or nobody went out of their way to do for me what I do for them. And you can imagine being someone that's codependent and so externally focused, you pour so much into other people's cups. And a lot of people, they have their own life, they have their own sense of self, so they actually don't give to you to the extent that you give to them, because the way that I was giving to them was super unhealthy. It was really, I would say it was to the extreme. And so more reasons to impact my self-image, because it's perpetuating this thought in my brain on loop that I'm not worthy, I'm not good enough, nobody wants to do anything for me or help me, or my needs don't matter. All of these reasons to keep you into this frame of, I'm not an important person, I don't deserve to show up bigger, I don't deserve to take up space. And over time, your entire brain is shaped around these narratives. So now you don't put yourself out there to do things that are hard or do things that are going to intimidate you or scare you or make you the center of attention. Like this video, for instance, was really hard for me to do. I used to be really good with social media. It didn't matter. I would just pop off a video and be fine. But there were so many paradigms, like my paradigm was kicking in really strongly today, recording this, because I kept looping. I couldn't find my micro, so I just moved and my house is virtually empty. So that's number one. I don't have my recording set up. I don't have the proper lighting. I don't have my microphone. What else? I had a few other things that were keeping me stuck, and I was like, I don't think I want to record today, but I promised myself no matter what it took, I would override my paradigm to just do that one video and tell myself that I can do it regardless, because I didn't do my hair, I didn't put on makeup, and because my hair wasn't done, I didn't think I was pretty enough to come on camera. All of these things of not being good enough, these themes of not being worthy enough, that being judged or being visible, being seen, it truly is so ingrained in the brain. And the only way to truly take your power back and shift your narrative, shift your paradigm, is by choosing to do it anyway. And so that's what I came on here to do today, is put out the video, make the video, put out the video, and say screw it. Even if I don't feel like I look my prettiest, and I'm not here to get validation, even if I don't feel like I look my prettiest, if I'm tired, I'm not my best self, I came back from New York late last night, I wanted to do it anyway, just to prove to myself that it didn't matter. It didn't matter who sees this. It doesn't matter what I look like. It doesn't matter that I don't have the proper technology at the moment. What matters is overriding my brain, overriding my programming to do what I sought out to do without letting my paradigm get in the way. So this is the topic that I really wanted to impress upon you, was the self-image of an empath, because it is super important to essentially get to know yourself by getting to know yourself. Just learning how your brain was shaped over time based on your life experiences, based on constant repetition of the same thing. Because empaths were constantly focusing on other people, you have created really deep neural pathways in your brain that are really hard to override, but they're not impossible. Like I said, it just takes repetition, and it just takes creating an emotion with the repetition to feel your best self and to feel more centered and to feel more love for yourself. I'll go on a different video and kind of explain to you how to get more of a sense of self, how to get to know yourself, because there's so many parts to being an empath that really ring true. I mean, there's nervous system work, because you get anxiously attached, you get codependent. And then there's also not having expressed your needs, so you have a lot of emotions locked away in the body that have gone unaddressed, and you don't feel safe to express them because you've never had someone that co-regulate with you, or learned that it is okay to feel your feelings. But then it's the mindset. The mindset to me is the most important, because I mean, yes, emotions are super important to work through, the nervous system super important to work through, and you can't do the mind without having gone through the body and the nervous system, which I personally think the nervous system is spirit, but to me the mind is what is going to perpetuate the paradigm, what's going to perpetuate your action or inaction, and what's going to perpetuate the same feelings over and over and over again. So when you can reshape and rewire the mind, you won't feel so privy to attract the same experiences in your life because of the emotion that you're used to. All of this will get addressed in later videos in terms of emotions and what you're attracting in because of them, whether good or bad. I will touch on the nervous system, how to work with the nervous system, how to reshape and rewire your nervous system, how to understand your energy body, how to strengthen your energy body, because as an empath, you have a porous energy field. And what that means is you are so used to taking on emotion from other people, and your nervous system gets really heightened. You react to someone's reaction and you jump to do the thing that's going to make the emotions go away from the person, that's going to make it less chaotic, that you acquire all of that energy inside of your body. And the only way to stop doing that is to rewire your energy field and learn how to protect yourself energetically and physically using communication. Would that be physical? Anyway, so many themes, so many topics to talk about. It's so near and dear to my heart. So I hope this video served you well. I will keep on keeping on with the rest of the videos. But yeah, this is the intro about self-image and why it is so important to address and rewire being an empath. And I don't claim being an empath anymore. It was my journey. I am over with that program. I don't want it anymore. She served me for some time because I got to learn so much juicy medicine from it, and how to work with people and how to take my power back. Because when you're an empath, and essentially you're powerless, because like I said, your energy is your currency. And when you give your energy away so freely, you've essentially depleted your energetic resources, which is your ability to have power or money. So stop depleting yourself, stop giving your attention away. And this is what these videos, the sequence is going to be for, to teach you how not to do this anymore. So I hope you enjoyed this and you got something out of it. If anything felt like new information to you, or resonated, or didn't resonate even, please feel free to leave a comment, like, subscribe, share, all the things. I'm growing this channel, so it'd be cool to have you along with me.